Bek Lover.
Oh, it's another day here at the Comeback Team Studios. This is your host, Bek Lover, and you're watching Interesting Times on the Bek Lover Podcast, where you just might learn a thing or two about life and the world that we live in. I bring you all the crazy headlines, all the news around the world, and anything that might be of interest, so I keep you in the know. If you're tired of other boring newscasts, if you want a little flavor and a little spice, if you want someone to keep you on your toes, well, you're in the right place. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and stay tuned here with your boy, Bek Lover. Let's jump right into it, because I got to go and pick up my children, and it ain't easy doing all this by yourself. So thank you for tuning in, and thank you for all your support as always. This is your boy, Bek Lover, and let's rock. Interesting times indeed, my friends. New York City has become a place where only rich people and celebrities fly in, do what they have to do, and leave. For those of us poor people that are stuck here because we're kept into a state of poverty because of the rules, the laws, the taxes, the way they let us operate our businesses, the way they make our lives a living hell, the way they say there's congestion because they take out 4 lanes on a 5-lane avenue, like 8th Avenue, which has become a nightmare. Bike lanes. They literally took 5 lanes of traffic and condensed them into 1. And how is it 1? Because they left 2. But then the Uber driver in the taxi pulls over to pull someone, so you only really have 1 lane. Once we had 5 lanes, we now have 1 lane on major arteries in New York City, like 8th Avenue. And then you wonder why you have traffic. It's not because of all the people. Millions of people have left New York City. The newest person to join that is my throat doctor's brother, who was jumped by migrants last week. They beat the crap out of him. He just sold his practice and he's moving to Florida. Okay? The city that once was a place where people dreamed of coming to. We had over 120 million tourists in 2018. You don't even see them anywhere in the streets anymore. All my friends and family and associates that own businesses in the city can tell you their businesses are down 40% since the reopening of New York City after it was shut down unjustly. And yet, here we are. No one's doing anything about it. The masses are asleep. And you that has the power have decided to stay silent so you get what you deserve. When your leaders fail you, it is your obligation, your responsibility to let them know, to demand justice, to rise up and tell them no more of this or you're out of office. And we impeach them and we protest until they're impeached, until we get people that actually do things that make our lives better and not worse. What has happened to New York City in a matter of 4 years is absolutely horrific. I am saddened. My heart is full of sorrow every day I wake up. I was out on Monday during the Met Gala. The streets of New York City were empty. They were empty. Except for the after parties that were hosted at Hearsay and Cipriani. The city was quiet on a gorgeous Monday. 5 years ago, those streets would have been flooded with business people from all over the world and tourists from all over the world. And now people just look for any way to get out of the city. I have friends who own some of the most successful businesses in the city who are telling me they're months away from closing their doors. Are you happy, everyone? Has your silence helped? Have you being quiet and being scared to speak your mind, which is what it means to be an American, to exercise your First Amendment? Has it benefited you by being quiet? Are you so scared of what everyone's going to say or attack you on? Wake up already. Your American dream is becoming a nightmare. We are running out of time, and your silence does not help. Your silence only allows what's happening to keep happening. And let's show you today's newest video of New York City, for those of you that might want to come here now. This video is nothing short of disturbing. And as you'll see in this video, you're going to see a older woman walking from what the video describes as 152nd Street. One of these looks like a migrant, because I've seen them all over the street. They're the only ones in the streets right now. throws his belt around her neck. I don't even think she survived this. I don't know. There's no way you can. You only a few seconds of no air coming through your windpipe, you're a goner. I've been put to sleep. It takes 5. People are going, why didn't she fight back? It takes 5 seconds to put somebody to sleep. Okay? It takes 5 seconds to put somebody to sleep, especially when they're not expecting it. Especially when their air hole, their windpipe is closed immediately. This is the reality of the city that was once the safest city in the world to visit. Your silence has allowed this. Your complacency has allowed this. Your demoralizing of the police has allowed this. I hope you enjoy it, because this is what you wanted, so now you got it. But it's your daughters, your sisters that are in those streets in New York City, your wives that might be coming back home from work that are next. So keep staying quiet. Keep bashing the police and see how safe your life will be in New York City. Wake up already. Wake up. Now the headlines. I don't even feel like reading this article. Who cares about Miss USA? Skip. Let's go to the Middle East. It's been such a great place the last 50 years. It's been such a wonderful place. The Associated Press reports Yemen's Houthi rebels claim 2 attacks in Gulf of Aden as Iran official renews nuclear bomb threats. Okay, so another step closer to Armageddon. The Yemeni Houthis rebels on Thursday claim responsibility for 2 missile attacks on the Gulf of Aden on 2 Panama-flagged container ships that caused no damage. Meanwhile, an advisor to Iran's supreme leader again threatened that Tehran could build a nuclear weapon if it chose to pursue atomic armaments. The comments by Yemeni military spokesperson General Yahya Sari and former Iranian Foreign Minister Kamal Karazi came as the allies of Hamas continued to pressure Israel over its continuing war on the militant group in the Gaza Strip. Biden's decision to pull Israel weapons shipment kept quiet until after Holocaust Remembrance Address. The White House NSC, National Security Council, reportedly sought to keep the decision to stop supplying U.S. weapons that Israel could use to launch an all-out assault on Rafah out of the public eye for several days until after President Biden delivered a public address for Holocaust Remembrance Day. I got a news flash for you. Even if they stop the shipment, Israel has plenty of weapons. They've gotten billions and billions of dollars from us. And I got to be honest with you, I'm very upset. And again, I'm going to say this. I have a right as an American to criticize what the politicians and the governance of the state of Israel do, period. It does not make me anti-Semitic or anti-Jewish. I love my Jewish brothers and sisters. I share much in common with them. Half of my friends are Jews. Most of them are Russian Jews. And even my first cousins are half Jewish. Their mom's Jewish. As someone who has no hatred in his heart whatsoever for any person of any color, race, creed, or even sexual preference, you can do whatever you want in your bedroom. Just leave my children out of it. I do not care how you live your life or what you believe into or what you pray to. I do not care, and I do not hate you for it. That is your God-given right, or not God-given right if you're an atheist, but for argument's sake, your God-given right to believe whatever you want to believe, and only He can judge you, not me, not anyone else. What I have a problem with is when Bibi's giving his address for Holocaust Remembrance, and he's basically sitting there and saying, Israel did all this by itself and no one ever had our back and we were always alone. My friend, your country exists because of Britain, period. Your country exists because of the UK and the United States of America. So at least give some gratitude, especially to the American people, who since the last time I checked, we gave over $300 billion. This is based on the CF.org, okay, US aid to Israel, over $300 billion in aid to your country. That's greater than the GDP of most countries, including where my family comes from, which is Albania, which has a GDP of like 1.5 billion, if even that. So to sit here and give this speech and act like you don't exist today. What about all the soldiers who stormed the beaches of Normandy to fight the Nazis, to stop the Nazi takeover of the world? What about every single one of those soldiers that's laying in Arlington National Cemetery? To say that you were on your own and nobody helped you. Albania saved every Jew that came to his country, even under German occupation. Today, they estimate there's over 100,000 Jews from the efforts of the Albanian people. So to sit there and say that no one helped the Jews or tried to help them, your whole country exists because of the United States and the UK. You would not exist. You wouldn't have lasted a day in that desert without them backing you up and sending you weapons from day one. So you listen to the speech, you tell me if I'm wrong. As an American, I'm offended. No, you should say, thank you, America. Thank you, UK. You're the reason our country exists. You recognize us in the United Nations. You have permanent veto power, and you supplied us with weapons so we could exist even though we're surrounded by people that want to destroy us.
In the Holocaust, the Jewish people were totally defenseless against those who sought our destruction. No nation came to our aid. Today, we again confront enemies bent on our destruction. I say to the leaders of the world, no amount of pressure, no decision by any international forum will stop Israel from defending itself. I pledge here today from Jerusalem on this Holocaust Remembrance Day, if Israel is forced to stand alone, Israel will stand alone.
If you were standing alone, you wouldn't need hundreds of billions of dollars from the American people. That's not standing alone. This is not about who's right or wrong or if Israel deserves to take Gaza and the rest of the land that the Palestinians have. We won't even get into that. But to sit here and give this speech like you've done it on your own, you haven't done nothing on your own without the American people. And to me, that's an insult as an American. Sorry. Okay? You're not standing alone. How many billion did we just send you? How many billions of dollars do we just send your country? Okay? You're not doing it alone at all. And when the Iranians were firing their drones, it was American fighter pilots and British fighter pilots that were helping stop the barrage and shooting down a lot of those missiles too. You didn't even do that alone. So who are you kidding? At least give some thanks to the American people for all the tax dollars that goes so you can blow Gaza out of the water to smithereens. At least give us a little credit for that. And I really hope this conflict ends because I've said it many times on my show. Israel may win the military campaign, but they have lost the support of many people that I think supported them before this all started. No one's arguing October 7th. People are upset about the excessiveness of the response. You told the people to go to Rafah. Now you want to invade Rafah. Where are they supposed to go? And if you're Egyptian or you're an Arab, shame on your countries that closed that border. My family was in war. If Albania didn't allow our people to cross over, we would have lost hundreds of thousands of people. And the Arabs can't even take down a border between them and Israel to allow men, women, and children to get out who don't want to partake in the fighting. They were pushed from the north of Gaza all the way down to Rafah, and now we're all going to stand by and watch them get blown up. This does not win the hearts and minds, Israel. You're losing so many supporters that you had. What are you doing? What are you doing? More news. Cruise ship sails into New York City port with 44-foot dead whale across its bow. Now, that's one way to cruise into New York City. But I guess it's ominous. Anything that comes New York City that's pure and beautiful gets destroyed. I guess it's just a sign of the future of our city. Like this poor whale. TikTok sued the U.S. government to block a ban. Here's what happens now. The future of TikTok is more uncertain than ever after the social media company sued the U.S. government on Tuesday. For those of you that are shaking your asses on TikTok, you might want to start shaking them more on other apps. But you do it too much on Instagram, they'll probably ban you. So good luck. U.S. airman shot and killed by police in Florida, reported by the BBC. Rest in peace to this serviceman who dedicated his life to serving our country. From what I understand in this article, the police made a mistake. It wasn't even his apartment. They kept knocking on the door. They didn't make an announcement to who they were. He's in a state where you have the right to defend your home. He grabbed a firearm. They kicked the door in. They saw him holding the gun and they killed him. Okay? And it's unexcusable. If that is exactly what happened, then these police need to be held accountable. You need to tell them that you're the police so the guy can stand down. These knocks and all this stuff, these no-knock warrants, these are very dangerous for both sides. Speaking of dangerous, if you live anywhere on the path of this super building that the Saudis want to build, this is reported by the BBC, they've given the order that they can kill and remove these Bedouins and these villagers that are in the way of this massive building that they want to build, so they can create a Hunger Games society in 15-minute cities that you're never going to leave because you're going to own nothing and be happy. Colonel Alen, I can't even say the names, man. Don't laugh at me, guys. And I'm tired. I haven't broadcast in a while. Colonel Alenezi said he was ordered to evict villagers from a tribe in the Gulf state to make way for the line, part of the Neom Echo project. One of them was subsequently shot and killed for protesting against eviction. The Saudi government and Neom management refused to comment. Saudi Arabia's $500 billion eco region is part of its Saudi Vision 2030 strategy, which aims to diversify the kingdom's economy away from oil. Its flagship project, The Line, has been pitched as a car-free city just 656 feet wide and 170 kilometers long. Sounds like a big giant prison to me, is what it sounds like. FTX, for those of you that invested with this moron, FTX says most customers of the bankrupt crypto exchange will get all their money back. That's some good news for some of you. Almost all customers of the collapsed cryptocurrency exchange FTX will get their money back and more, according to a court filing. FTX estimates that it owes creditors around $11.2 billion, according to a reorganization plan published late Tuesday. The company said it has been between $15.4 and $16.3 billion to distribute to the creditors. Customers whose claims amount to $50,000 or less will receive approximately 118% of the amount of their allowed claim. The plan says around 98% of the creditors will receive this compensation. So a lot of you little people that got sucked into that, good news, you're getting your money back. If you want to donate some of that to your boy Bek Lover so you can continue to broadcast this amazing message, much appreciated. Check me out on Instagram at BekLoverNYC. Russia unleashes massive barrage targeting Ukraine energy infrastructure, Al Jazeera reports. Russia has launched more than 70 missiles and drones overnight into one of its largest barrages against Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Russia launched more than 50 missiles and 20 Iranian-made Shahed drones, long-range unmanned vehicles with built-in warheads. President Vladimir Zelensky slammed the massive missile attack, which also reported to have damaged homes and the railway network. Lviv's are in the parts. So I was supposed to go to Lviv with Rachel Ray. That never happened. But I mean, I wasn't that sad. I didn't go. It was very dangerous. For those of you that are sick and are addicted to nude images and acts of people having intercourse, also, rhymes with corn, starts with a P. They're not going to make it where you can pretty much generate these types of videos and images on AI, and then you can spank your monkey to it. You are a deviated human being. You should probably get married and have a spouse that you can do that with. Studies have shown that looking at these types of images destroy the mind, destroy your relations with people that you are with, that you love, and that you become so deviated that you need more and more excessive images and videos to even get off. I don't recommend looking at these types of images or videos. I do not partake in that world. And I think it's a filthy industry, and I think it's disgusting. You should do research on who owns all those industries that are destroying the minds of young people and destroying the family unit. Elon Musk. Implant by Elon Musk Neuralink suffers setback after threads retract from patient's brain. Elon Musk's brain technology startup Neuralink said Wednesday that an issue cropped up with the company's first human brain implant weeks after it was inserted into a patient. The company revealed in a blog post that in the weeks following the patient's surgery in January, a number of the implant's connective threads retracted from the brain, causing a reduction in the signals that could be captured by the device. I never want any of that in me. I don't care ever. I don't know what this article was, but let's see if I can refresh it. Mediterranean diet could help stave off dementia. So eat the Mediterranean diet if you're scared of dementia. The deadly disease that kills deer and elk has been detected in California for the first time. I've been keeping an eye on this. Deadly disease that has ravaged deer in other parts of North America was found for the first time in Cali this week. According to the State Department of Fish and Wildlife, chronic wasting disease was detected in 2 deer after samples were examined Monday, marking the first time the fatal disease has been found in the deer elk in the state. The samples came from one deer that was found dead from unknown causes near Yosemite Lakes in Madera County, and another deer that was struck and killed by a vehicle near Bishop. This is something we need to watch. Here's a map of where all the cases are popping up. Could you imagine if it mutated and spread to human beings? It basically turns the deer into zombies. For those of you that are Walking Dead fans, we might not be far away from your dream of being in that type of reality. So some good news for all of us that own cars. This is reported by thehill.com. Chemicals in car interiors may cause cancer, and they're required by the U.S. law to study it. Tens of millions of Americans each day breathe in carcinogenic chemicals that are woven into the interiors of their cars. While opening a window can help reduce the risk, only reforms can keep people safe. Approximately 124 million Americans commute each day, spending an average of an hour in their cars. By federal law, the interior of these vehicles are required to contain flame retardants or chemicals that make it harder for them to combust in a crash. These chemicals have been a legally mandated part of modern cars since the 1970s, when the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration passed a law requiring their use. It's arguably how effective this protection is. Virtually all cars investigated by Duke University researchers contain the chemicals tris 1-chlorosipropyl phosphate, or TCIPP, which is the U.S. National Toxicology Program is investigating as a potential carcinogen. Most cars also had 2 other phosphate-based flame retardants that the state of California is investigating as a potential carcinogen. All 3 chemicals are linked to reproductive and neurological problems, particularly because they don't stay in the fabrics they're woven into. Okay, we are being poisoned in every sense of the word, even in our car, just sitting down, from the food we eat to the chemicals that are in our food. We have been let down by the people that were supposed to protect us. Idaho man gets 30 years in prison for trying to spread HIV through sex with dozens of victims. An Idaho man was sentenced to 30 years in prison. Okay, having sex with 30 to 50 different men and boys, including a 16-year-old. Okay. Disgusting. You better be careful out there. We live in interesting times and an interesting world, and you never know what's coming around the corner. So you better take care of yourself, take care of your flock, and stay tuned to me, your boy, Bek Lover, with all the interesting headlines. This is another episode of the Interesting Times podcast with Bek Lover, where you just might learn a thing or two about life. Check you on the next episode. See you in the digital world.